This is a 1926 Packard, and it is in full restoration. Every nut and bolt and everything that can be thought of has been replaced, refinished, and resurfaced, and whatever. I mean, all the wood is brand new. We just installed the top on it, but all this wood right here has been refinished.
This wood's brand new?
No, it's not brand new. It's all the old wood that's been refinished.
This is the original wood from what year?
Wood. 1926 is the year of this car. So all this is all original wood. This is all original wood that has all been refinished and restored, sanded down, dozens and dozens of coats of lacquer.
Can I touch it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to touch it with one finger. How's that?
Yeah, like you would a paint job, just kind of like that. Yeah.
This is the original wood from 1926,
That
and
is
this
the original wood. It's still, and what it was, you can still see little traces of the original, where the original holes were, where the old nails were, like they used to do it back in the early days, the traditional way of doing it. We try to stick to it as traditional installation as possible, but you can only do so much with the nails and stuff like that. Are not a very good way of doing things nowadays. But see, you got in here just a little bit of where the original stuff used to be, but it's been sanded down and filled and all that kind of stuff, so it provides a smooth surface all the way across. So when you pick it up, there's no bumpiness or anything like that. So all that's been dealt with.
Let's talk about this this material. This is where you guys come into play.
Yes, this is the tan stay fast material. It's a modern material. It's made for higher end. This is what you'll find on a Rolls or on a Porsche or something like that.
Right.
Very high end material. It's very color resistant and very appropriate for the age of the vehicle. That's what's traditionally used. There are certain colors that are a little more custom, but this color just kind of blends in with the whole originality of the car.
Right. And what was the original color of this top upholstery?
Bleached version of this color. Very, very white, very almost looks like a t-shirt that's been washed too many times kind of color. So this customer opted to go, actually this is the color right here. This is the original color right here.
That's the original color.
This is the original color. Now this isn't the original material, but the original color. See, it's got kind of a bleachy, kind of, it's been around the block a few times kind of color. So this really has a nice deep rich tone. Where
do you get something like this?
This is pretty standard stuff in the industry as far as availability. It is made, it's sold in rolls by the yard, and it's made for this kind of application.
Right.
So, you lay it all out on the table, and then you custom fit and cut everything. All the snaps and everything we installed. All these brackets have been re-chromed, and we reinstalled all that stuff. All these has been re-chromed. Everything that you see. Who
did the polishing on this original wood?
The polishing has been.
So
done
you had to fit this upholstery to fit the original wood. That's not an easy task.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And that was done by my uncle here, Joaquin, who's been in.
So you have all. This is a total family operation here at RJ's.
Right here. This is my uncle who was actually.
So you have your uncle here and your son.
And my son, yes.
Wow.
And I started in the trade with my uncle Joaquin back in Ocean Beach. And when was it? How long ago? Go on, show your age. He started back.
This is fine craftsmanship here.
Yes. He had started actually in the 60s.
Yeah.
And I started with him in the early 80s, and went until that place was sold. And then when it was sold, then we all branched out on our own. And here we are at RJ's Upholstery.
You got the family dominating the market in the upholstery business for I'm not going to
this generations actually.
For 3 generations now. Rick, this is a classic car, correct?
Yes.
This is the definition of a classic car.
This right here is probably the prime example. Yes.
Prime example of a classic car right here in
full restoration.
San Diego.
Full restoration. Everything about it has been addressed. And the few things that haven't have intentionally not been addressed. A lot of the interior, we're going to do some dye work on. But as you can see, it still has that distressed look.
And Ricky, we talked about this, right?
Yeah.
This
original.
This is original.
Yeah, it's original.
And they just cleaned it so well.
Yeah, it's clean, and it's still got a couple more processes to go. But
things we need to do a nice top coat to it and everything like that. So it's still in the process.
Right.
So after we're done with it, it should look very well taken care of, very conditioned, very very well done.
as opposed to replaced. And that's the tricky fine line.
That's the tricky part.
That you need to address when you are doing a restoration. That a restoration doesn't necessarily mean throw everything away and start brand new.
Who made is that call? Is that decision between restoring and replacing sometimes a difficult one?
It is, and customers are torn between that kind of stuff because they say this is a great example where you can be kind of torn, where you say, well, I've done hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of work, and I'm going to leave the original interior. You have to be able to justify in your own mind whether you want to leave it or replace it.
Right.
But it does have these lines in here that just show such character that you.
This was an easy. This was an easy call.
Yes, this particular one was. Yes.
This is an easy call.
Yes.
This stays, man, they did a great job on it. And then you talk about the who's going to replace the horn here. How's that going to work out?
The horn is going to be replaced by the same company that's doing the woodwork, which is a company called Cars, which is down the street, and a company I work very closely with. And they come down here, and I go.
So we got a stick shift on this thing, like all things in 1926, right?
Absolutely.
Has a manual transmission. And how many gears or speeds does that manual transmission have?
I believe it's just a 4-speed.
It's a 4-speed. So what is this thing? What does this classic American car top out at in terms of speed today?
Well, I wish the owner was here because if he heard,
he'd
probably cringe. But I would say maybe I think they've actually clocked them up to 80, 90 miles an hour. That may or may not be true, and I hate to just kind of make it up without being actually knowing my facts.
And this is what drives. This is what drives this old machine right here. This is the original case, which from the original motor, but it's probably been rebuilt at least once, if not more.
At least once, yes. I don't know about its history,
and we can tell for how clean it is. It's certainly been cleaned and powder coated.
Absolutely, it's been all taken apart. Every bolt has been polished and re-chromed and all that stuff.
How many cylinders does
this
thing have?
This is actually a modern distributor.
This is this right here.
Yeah. So there's a modern gearworks. There's modern gears in there, and it's done in the modern fashion. But
and is this what I think it is?
That is a horn. Yes. Yeah, that was a big deal back then.
Now let's talk about the color of this. This is a 1926 Packard. We were just talking with another gentleman about Packards. What kind of company was Packard? Was it? It says Packard's International right here, but was Packard's an American company or a British company or what was it?
I wish I could honestly answer that. It's such a convoluted deal. I can't answer that. I wish I could.
And the other question is, how long was Packard in business? I mean, this is not a name that people remember like Ford. They've been out for a while.
This is pre-World War II.
Pre-World War II.
I hate to not have any facts on it, but it's definitely pre-World War II.
And so this thing was painted meticulously.
Absolutely.
Oh, I mean, the paint job on this is just
I wish you could
the
go
best.
on a lift and see the undercarriage on this thing. It's just as beautiful as the top.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous.
Everything about okay, so when you're driving around in this 1926 Packard, you're really driving around on a piece of, well, we can call it American history, regardless of where it was manufactured.
Yeah.
And when you're driving around in this, I mean, Rick, really isn't it hitting all your senses with the nostalgia? You can smell it, right?
Oh, heck yeah.
You can smell it. You can smell the upholstery. You can smell the fumes of the car.
It is very.
You can feel it, right? Yeah. So it's hitting your senses of smelling. It's certainly hitting your sense of sight. This thing is a sight that we just don't see the likes of these kinds of curbs anymore. It's hitting your sense of sound, right? This probably sounds a little bit different than a standard car.
Definite sound to it. It has a very, very low pitched, very almost purring kind of sound, for lack of a better description. I mean, it just goes really, really cool.
So it's a piece of nostalgia that'll affect your sight, your sense of touch, your sense of sound, and even your sense of smell. That's a lot. That's a lot. About the only other sense of touch you could do is if you lick this thing clean and it hit your sense of taste. What do we have here in the back, Rick? This looks like a seat.
Yeah, this is a rumble seat. This is
a rumble seat.
Traditional rumble seat. They've actually put. This is another thing that's not original. They put seatbelts in it, and he likes driving around his youngsters.
Now, are seatbelts a legal requirement?